Welcome back. It's your boy Reggie and my co-host
Elvi.
No, we're not going out like that.
No? Okay, again.
We gotta do that again, audience, because Elvi, I don't know what she was doing. She sounds like if Dumbo could talk. You know that elephant with the big ears? That's how Dumbo would sound. Wait, Dumbo can't talk.
No, Dumbo wouldn't sound like that.
No, you know who you sound like? Tigger. Hey, Christopher. No, Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robbins. Hello, Christopher Robbins. Would you like some honey?
No, I sound like Patrick.
You are not Patrick. Wait, I think I'm supposed to be Patrick.
Yeah, you're Patrick.
Hey, you're supposed to be
No, you're a
SquidHead. Squidworth.
Oh, Squidworth. Sorry, I kept thinking Squid.
That hurt my soul.
No, I didn't.
Because now it makes me think of Chloe and Alicia calling me like a big head with little ears. I'm Squidworth.
Yeah.
I'm a big boned Squidworth.
Yeah. You should be in the cartoon.
No, please don't put me in a cartoon. I would die because I can't breathe underwater.
SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Have you guys ever? Wow. I got my grease out. I'm ready to cook you too. The fire's burning. I can't wait.
Okay, bring it on. I'm her.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. She her though. Okay. One thing I want to talk about. So last week we talked about being confident, but not being cocky. Mm-hmm. But this week we're giving you some reasons why you can be cocky, especially if you get it out the mud.
Teacher, what does that mean?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So if you're a mud baby, if you got it out the mud means that you either had a hard life and you went from the bottom of society to the top. Mm-hmm. You got it out the mud. Because think about mud. If it's like thick mud, it's really hard to maneuver through, right? It's really hard to get through. It's like life. When you're at the bottom and you're poor, it's kind of hard to get to that top. But when you get there, you say, I got it out the mud. No one handed me anything. I'm a mud baby. I got it out the mud, right?
Okay.
So that's what got it out the mud means, right? Now, also, when you talk about getting it out the mud, it doesn't always have to be, that's originally what it meant, but it doesn't always have to be that you came from the bottom parts of society. If you started at the bottom end of a given profession and you worked hard to get to the top, you got it out the mud. You see what I'm saying? So let's say we're podcasters and we are podcasters. Let's say that we've been working hard, and somehow our podcast becomes the number one podcast. We got it out the mud. We started from the bottom. We had the support from the people, and they helped us get out the mud, right? We're mud baby. Well, in that sense, in that scenario, right? So in that scenario, getting out the mud just simply means that you worked hard to get where you got, to get what you have, right? Let's talk about mud a little bit. Let's just have some fun.
Okay.
When you were a kid,
I don't like mud, but okay.
Then this, the next, I don't know if you saw my notes, but the next thing I was going to ask you is...
Do I like mud? No.
No. Okay. I don't particularly like mud either, so thank you. Especially if you're wearing some nice shoes and you don't want that mud on you. You don't want to be a mud baby in that way. Mm-hmm. But I was a mud baby when I was a kid, and not as in like I was poor. Well, I was poor, but it was, in a sense, we used to make mud pies after the rain. We go to the puddle, we get the mud out of there. Me and my brother and like the homies. We keep in mind, we're like 6, 7, 8. It's not like we're like 10, 11, 12 when we're doing this, but we're 6, 7, 8, maybe even younger. If I'm 6, then my brother is like 4. So we used to make mud pies, and maybe we ate a little bit one time. Neither here nor there. Did you ever make mud pies?
No.
I'm really happy that you let that slide when I said maybe we ate a little bit of the mud pies.
I was in awe.
Yeah. Well,
speechless.
You know, when you're a kid, you got to try it.
No.
Like
no.
Like babies, they just be putting their mouth on stuff, just like their sensory organ or something. I don't know.
No.
You don't feel that way?
Ew.
Dang, it's cold blooded.
No.
But we did. I ate a little bit.
How did it taste like?
Trash. It was beyond trash. Don't get us wrong. It's life giving, right? And we need mud, right?
Yeah.
But we don't need to eat it. 6-year-old Reggie. I'm cooking myself now. Cooking myself. You gonna eat mud, bro? It's not even a. Have you ever had a Mississippi mud pie?
No.
No, it's not actually mud.
I was like, why?
I don't even know why it's a Mississippi mud pie, but it's some kind of. It's a pie that's not exactly.
Like
it's like a mousse.
Pie?
Yeah, it's like a mousse kind of like
chocolate.
Thing. It's chocolate. I don't think you. I don't know if you will like it. I don't think you will like it, but it's actually pretty good. It sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does sound terrible
because of Mississippi. Anyway,
because of mud.
Not because of mud.
Because of mud.
Mississippi.
Mud.
Shout out Mississippi's. I got a homie. Showcase. Where you at? He's from Mississippi. I didn't mean no harm to you. But facts is facts. Anyway, I just cooked the homie. Skincare. Use mud for skincare?
No.
Dang, what kind of person is you?
There's a certain type of, I don't even know if you can call it mud.
Okay. Like the mud mask or like, like that's what I mean. Like, for like your skin and stuff. Yeah. All right. I have a question for you. Also think about this. We also use mud to like build houses and stuff. So mud can be used for anything. And in a sense, like one thing I want to talk about with mud, in Korea, there's a mud festival. Yeah. I fucking hate it.
Ew.
All my friends go like every year. And everyone's like, do you go to the mud festival? I'm like, I've never been.
No.
But you lived here 10 years. Fuck that mud.
Beep.
Oh yeah, beep. Sorry guys, I should have censored myself. I don't care about that mud.
I can tell you really don't like it.
I really don't like the mud. And like some of my friends will come back with like rashes and stuff, and I'm like, that's because you in that damn mud.
No.
What are you doing in the mud?
You thought you were an elephant or something?
Right. You thought I was feeling you? Anyway, that's what the mud said. You thought I was feeling you? Yeah. But what I was gonna say, like, you can't expect to get out the mud, not even get it out the mud. Well, you probably lost your keys in the mud. You had to get it out.
Ew.
But let's go back to get it out the mud though, real quickly. Okay. Think about when you have something in the mud and you're trying to get it out, how hard it is when it's really thick. That's the other thing. That's the work you have to do when you get it out the mud.
Get to where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So you can take it literal or figuratively, right? You can take it as literally trying to get something out of the mud, which is actually really difficult if it's thick and not like watery, or just your life in general, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about a few other things, right? I want to talk about when I got it out the mud.
Okay.
I had to get it out the mud because my parents. I don't know what they were thinking.
Eating mud and playing.
I mean, that's
mud.
probably why I didn't go to pre-K or kindergarten, because they were like, "This kid is out here eating mud. He's not ready for school." There's no way this kid.
Look at me.
There's no way this kid is ready for school. He's out here eating literal mud, like actual mud,
for fun.
For fun, and the ghetto, which is not even like delicious mud.
And it's not clean.
It's not even clean. Like the pollution. This man just pour some trash next to the puddle of mud. Like, no. That's why I didn't go to pre-K or kindergarten. But let me tell you my got it out the mud story. So I didn't go to pre-K or kindergarten. My brothers did. I went straight to first grade. I get to first grade and they were like, okay, we're spelling words. And I was like, spelling words? What? I don't even know my ABCs.
How do I know how to spell mud?
Damn. I wasn't even that good, to be honest. I didn't know how to spell my name. I didn't know past G.
How do you spell your name? Ed.
Mud. No. But I didn't know any of that. Like literally nothing. And every day, everybody made fun of me. They called me dumb. They called me stupid. I cried almost every day.
Aww.
And my teacher was like, she didn't want to say it to my dad, but she was like, he might have to repeat this grade next year. And my dad was like, the hell he won't, or the hell he will. He not repeating no grade. So what ended up happening was, like, I started going to like this kind of class for kids who can't read well. And so I would go and I would go and I would go, and my dad was on me all the time. And one day I was in the car with my mom and I was just looking around and I looked up.
You were doing this?
Yeah, I was rocking, like, because that's why I didn't go to first grade. I mean, pre-K or kindergarten, because I'm eating mud. I'm just rocking. Rain Man. And one day I look up and I go, that says Payless. that says toys. That says, and I was reading everything. And my mom was like, she couldn't believe it. She was like, you can read? I was like, yeah. I was like, Mom, I can read. I was excited.
That's cute.
I was so excited. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't reading fluently yet, but I can at least sound things out. And she was like, wanted to test me. She was like, what does this say? It says cat. What does this say? This says Walmart. What does this say? Target. If you know, you know. But then, to further that story of getting it out the mud, let's talk about this. Then by the end of close to the end of the year, I ended up becoming one of the best readers in the class. So like I really got it out the mud, right? I really was like trash. Like I didn't know nothing. They were like, draw an A, and I'll be like, scribble.
Draw mud. I
got picked on so hard, so much, but I got it out the mud. I had to. I couldn't go out like that. So that's my story of getting out the mud. What's the story of you getting it out the mud? Or do you have a story?
I don't think I have the one that's...
It doesn't have to be as dramatic as that.
Yeah, yours is kind of like the ones like Tom Cruise movie. Actually, Tom Cruise's story.
He's dyslexic, isn't he?
Yeah.
My father is also dyslexic. Yeah. He really had to get it out the mud, actually. My dad, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think I had...
Yeah. I think when you think about getting out the mud, you got to look at situations as well. Again, you don't have to just be poor, right? So my dad, growing up, my dad's dyslexic. I don't know if people know what dyslexia is, but when my dad sees words, they kind of shift around. He can't really tell. And there were points when he said that like he would go into the store. He thought he was dumb, and I think my dad thought I was like him, and so that's why he was so hard on me. But he thought he was dumb, so. He would go and fill out a job application and forget how to spell his name.
Oh no.
It was bad. It was really bad. And like listening to him tell the story, he's fine, but I can hear in his voice he was like that was a dark time for him. Yeah. But he got it out the mud. He's relatively successful now, I would say. In pretty good shape.
Yeah.
But even now, don't do that. I know what that was. My dad's low key hot, okay? He's a hot grandpa. I know this. We all know this. Gray bearded man, bald head. Me, but hotter. Anyway, I got to get it out the mud. Dang. Anyway, but yeah, like my dad really got it out the mud. I think he even grew up poorer than I did. My grandfather, right? If we talk about getting out the mud, my grandfather grew up during the Great Depression, and he talked about eating like tree bark, grass.
Oh wow!
Like anything they could eat, because they were not only were they black in the Great Depression, they were in the country, and it was the Great Depression. Like it was not good for anyone in America, really, unless you were super rich. Yeah. So they really got out the mud. And my grandfather, let me tell you how he got out the mud. He was growing like some kind of grass in the desert, and people were like, "Bruh, like you can't grow grass in the desert." And somehow he had a whole yard full of grass in the desert. And I was like, wow, Grandpa, you what? But he is one guy that I believe no matter where he goes in the world, he'll find a way to survive. He'll get it out the mud. So yeah. Does your dad have a story of like getting it out the mud? I'm sure your dad has a story of getting it out the mud. By the way, her dad is so cool. Anyway, go ahead.
I think, yeah, because, like, he was born in the countryside. Yeah. More in the South.
Right.
And then he told me, because he's, like, gifted and he's pretty talented. Right. So, like, he said he could, like, draw and paint when he was, like, 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
He could, like, remember stuff pretty easily. He's good at sports.
Right.
But then, like, there were, like, too many kids.
Yeah.
And my grandpa was like smoking and playing mahjong and gambling most of the time.
I see.
My grandma, you've seen my grandma.
Yeah,
she's just
so sweet.
Yeah, but
she's so pretty. Yeah.
But she's just this really timid and obedient type of woman.
Right.
Woman like how all the other women back then. Yeah. So she didn't really have a saying in anything. So my dad was like, no, like this is not how I'm gonna end my life.
Right.
So then he just decided to go and study in Taipei. So like he took the test, he studied, and he just like went away from home.
Yeah.
And then I think, I'm not sure if his sister went to Taipei first, or he went to Taipei first, but then like he made it out there and made money, supported like the whole family, I guess. Yeah. And he actually had to like confront my grandpa several times. Telling him like, this is not how you teach kids.
Right.
Like, this is bad education.
Right.
You know? And later on, like, I think my grandpa still thinks that he's probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, he is like the most successful ones among his siblings.
Right.
But you know, like the parents back in the day, they won't really give you compliments. They'll just like, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You know?
No, for sure.
But I think my grandpa left some money for my dad.
I see.
But that's the money that my dad had given my grandpa. The red envelopes. He just saved it. Yeah. And then one time, like my grandpa just handed over one like account book. What do you call that? Passbook?
Checkbook or something like that. I don't know what it is.
And he just like handed it over to my dad and said, "Oh, like here's the money." My dad was like, "What?" Like, why?
What are you doing this for? Thanks, Dad, but why?
Yeah, but why? Like, how? You know?
Yeah, no, but for sure.
And then my grandpa treated me really well. I think he didn't spoil me, but I low-key think like I'm also where I was because he passed away. Rest in peace. But I think I was probably his most favorite grandchild. Yeah, because I went to the best schools in my city, and you know, and in the university and stuff. Okay. So
I got you.
Yeah, so I guess my dad did that.
Yeah, your dad did get out the mud. He got it out the mud.
Yeah, got it out of.
So listen to this, guys. That was actually a really cool story. I feel like our parents and our grandparents, they really had to get it out the mud. Especially like I know like my generation and maybe the generation before me, like we especially in America, we might have had it a little bit easier, but like my parents and my grandparents, they really had to get it out the mud, right? Like America was a very different time at that. It's not like it is now, where I grew up in the 80s and everybody's like cool. It's it was a very different place, so they really had to get it out the mud. But I just want to say, remember, the phrase is "get it out the mud." I know it sounds like I'm saying "get it out of the mud," but it is "get it out the mud." Or you can say, if you grew up like poor, you can call yourself a mud baby. There is a Kevin Gates. He has a song called, I think it's called "Get It Out the Mud," and you can hear some rappers saying, "I'm a mud baby." And it just basically means like I came from nothing, and look at me now, I'm successful. That's all it means.
But you have to be successful to be able to use that phrase? Or
I feel like you do. Well, that's the thing, right? When I hear people say that, usually rappers say that. And, you know, when you become a rapper, depending on what kind of deal you have, you've now gone from, you know, a couple of dollars to millions. So like for them, and for me too, if I went from that to millions, I would say, yeah, I got it out the mud. Yeah. Especially if I came from the bottom.
But if you haven't, then can you call yourself like, a
mud baby?
You can call yourself a mud baby, I guess, but can you say like, got it out the mud?
If you haven't come from the bottom?
No, if you like, you're not successful enough, or you're not successful.
I think it depends on, I don't, like I said, in those situations, I think that if with rappers, it's a big jump, right? Yeah. I think for regular people, I don't really hear people say that, but I'm assuming you can. I'm assuming you can. Okay. But also, one thing that everybody can use is situations where you got it out the mud, right? So in a situation where you were the bottom of this, right? You're the bottom of the totem pole on your team, and now you're the best player. Or you were the bottom of the totem pole in your company, and now you're the CEO. Or you work from this company and this company, this company. Now you have your own successful company. Yeah. You got it out the mud. You worked hard. You see what I'm saying? Real quickly, before we go, there's other words that mean almost the same thing. So to grind or grinding means you're working hard, right? These don't mean exactly the same thing, but they go with them. Grind and hustle. Yeah. Right. It means you just work hard. That means you work for everything you get. You stay up late if you have to. All those kinds of things. So you can say I got it out the mud. You can say I'm grinding. Right. You can say I'm hustling. All right. Anything else you want to add, Miss Elvi?
I think that's all.
Hey.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. And I hope you come back with your homework tomorrow. Thank you. Homework for everyone.
No homework.
Everyone must tell me a story of how they got it out the mud. No,
teacher, I'm 12.
Sometimes I have to realize that, like, oh yeah, they're only 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. They're not that old. All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys listening. Look, stay with us. I know we've been gone for a while, but you know, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it makes me think of that lyric comes from the song It's Been a Long Time, We Shouldn't Left You Without a Dope Beat Step. We've been gone for a long time.
So, okay.
Never mind. All right. So I suck. Trash. My reference wasn't even mid. It was trash. I get it. It wasn't valid. But thanks again, guys. Thanks for listening to us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back soon. Just be checking for us. Keep checking for us. Continue to check for us.
Yes.
Peace, guys.
Bye.